friends, and welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to review a nonfiction book. I know it's crazy. I don't normally talk about nonfiction on my channel, but I think this is a very important book that really everybody should read. And if not, if you don't want to read it, even though there is some absolutely phenomenal information on it, then you need to watch the interview that Tucker Carlson does on his channel with the author and her brother. So I will link that in the description down below. But without further ado, we are going to review Good Energy by Casey Means with her brother Calley Means. So first off, this book really digs in and talks about good energy. What is good energy? What is bad energy? And then brings up the whole big pharma, medical industry, food industry. And really she tells you we really as humans shouldn't be eating this stuff. Like refined sugars, refined grains, seed oils, ultra processed food, that is destroying our bodies. It's giving us chronic diseases that didn't exist years ago. It's getting us a higher percentage of people getting Alzheimer's, which is basically type 3 diabetes. She goes through facts and numbers and what we can do to fix what we have done to our bodies. And really, it's not what we have done, it's what the society has done to it. And really, it's all of these doctors who are trained to treat the symptom and not really look at the whole picture. So as Casey says in her book, each doctor has a specialty, and your general doctor, depending on how many things you have wrong with you, will refer you to maybe 10 different doctors that specialize in 10 different things, when the body really functions as a whole. It's not a separate piece. So she's talking about how we really need to think about health as a whole. And so she, Stanford grad, went to Stanford Medical School. At literally the last year of her residency, she quit and she went into functional medicine because she knew that this was not right. You have multi-million, billion-dollar companies that are giving money to the American Diabetes Association, the American Cancer Society. You have big pharma giving money to institutions and then telling them what they're going to teach because, hey, I gave you all this money. This is what you're going to teach. They teach to prescribe. They don't teach to fix. And they talk a little bit about it in this book, but it's mainly on the interview. There is a drug called Ozempic, and it is supposed to treat basically the obesity crisis that we have in America. Well, I believe the company is a Norwegian company, and they produce this drug and sell it to America. But in Norway, when somebody is unhealthy and they go to the doctor prescribes exercise, diet changes, maybe get more sunlight, go for a nature walk. They don't prescribe medication. That's not the first thing. but in America, it is. It's, hey, you've got an obesity problem, I'm going to put you on this drug for the rest of your life. They're not here to fix the problem. That these industries, or corporations really is what we should call them, because that's what they are wanting to profit off of our unhealthiness. And how they do that is the food companies continue to make ultra processed food, which our body really should not be eating. And then we, as humans, after many years of eating a ton of sugar that we really shouldn't be eating and a ton of chemicals, we get chronic diseases. So then we go to the doctor. We've got all these issues. Oh, well, here, we're going to give you a drug for this, we're going to give you a drug for this, and we're going to give you a drug for this. And that's how they make their money. And you're going to continue to eat that way, and you're going to continue to buy the medication. Well, really don't think that's how we're supposed to live. And yes, buying things with minimal ingredients, organic, 100% grass-fed, pasture-raised, all that stuff, it's expensive. It's cheaper to eat bad food. Well, that is by design, unfortunately. So I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on the whole issue thing. I just really think that this is so important for people to read. There was just a really big roundtable Senate hearing like last week with a bunch of people that are advocates to change this in the US. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that goes on. But you really got to watch the interview and you really got to read this book. I really think it's very important. Now, do I agree with everything she says? I'm not going to say yes or no. It makes you think. It really does. Like, for example, I absolutely love rice. Love rice. Well, that apparently, per this book, is a refined grain. Really, your body shouldn't eat it. Breads, all of that stuff, you really shouldn't eat it unless you are getting it from that wheat berry and you're able to mill it yourself pretty much. Which I hate to say this, but I've looked into doing. Not quite there yet, but you know. But I absolutely love rice. I'm not going to give up rice in my diet. I'm not going to give up pasta in my diet. Me, myself, I'm not. But you just eat smaller amounts. So I always check. Even before this, I always checked the labels. I always check the labels on my food, always. And so I buy ingredients that don't have any chemicals in it, very minimal. So like my pasta, it's just wheat. Yes, it's considered a refined grain. Per this book, I learned that our bodies really can't process that. But I'm thinking, okay, in minimal amounts, I think it's fine. You know, and it doesn't have any bad things in it. So I'm getting a good product with just wheat in it, you know? But that's me. She's got some other points in here. She talks about circadian rhythm. She talks about lighting. She talks about exercise, what type of blood tests you can do if you want to check your metabolic health. Like, there's all kinds of stuff that really make you think in this book, but also she gives you the steps to what you will need to do, and then she gives you a plan if you want to try it. And it's a slow plan. It's a 4-week plan. It's not all or nothing kind of thing. It's just to get you started. You're not going to change your habits right away. You got to pick 2 or 3 and really be diligent about it for 4 weeks. Then you add another one, you know? And she also has recipes in this book, which is really interesting. So probably going to try some of them. They sound really good. But I don't really talk a whole lot about my, like, you know, personal life on the channel, but I'm a health nut. I exercise at least 4 times a week, if not 5. I'm always walking. I'm always moving. My husband and I do sauna. We do ice baths. We try to eat as healthy as possible. We're trying to do like a 90-10, really, is what we're trying to do. You're not going to be perfect all the time. It's just not going to happen. But like, we've decided 90-10 is perfect. But she writes where you can easily understand. She is a very, very intellectual woman. Very, very smart. So she writes about scientific terms, biological chemistry terms in this book, but then she breaks it down for you to get you to understand before she continues on into her next step. So even with somebody who only has a base knowledge of biology would be able to understand this book. I think, again, everybody needs to read this. Everybody needs to watch that interview. I will put it in the description below. But if you've ever tried a recommendation on my channel, please read this. I'm really passionate about people reading this book. I think it's absolutely phenomenal. She comes to some great points, and it's all factual. And she's got her website listed at the end of every chapter and says, go here for the references. Like, I mean, instead of boggling down the book with the references, she's just like, here, go to my website. Look it up. Which I think is a great tactic too, because then it makes you go to her website. And you can get more information that she's got. She's also got a newsletter. So if you really enjoyed reading this book and liked the takeaways that she gives, I recommend signing up for her newsletter. So far I've only gotten 3, and I love all of them. So, but I would give this a 5-star read. I don't know what I gave it on Goodreads, to be quite fair, but this is top nonfiction book this year. Top. Well, guys, that was my review on Good Energy by Casey Means with her brother Calley Means. Let me know if you have already read the book, or if you're interested at all in reading it, or what are some of the nonfiction books that you've read this year that you've been intrigued by and have made you think. I'd absolutely love to know. Put them down in the comments. But don't forget, like, subscribe, and be good people.
When you feel it's hopeless, when you think that you're lost,